Just can't believe it. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I was experiencing when I was going through this. Let There Be Lose is only a year old, and to be doing something like this for me personally is truly mind-blowing. Setting intentions a year ago for the expansion and the growth that I am experiencing now, I never thought it would happen so soon. I saw it as something that was so far away, but I did see it as clear as day, and I did do the work of pushing through my limited beliefs, of searching for ways to heal myself with different modalities in order to move towards expansion. You all have been through the journey with me. As I was searching for places, I was literally scouring for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then I would take time off, let my mind reset, and I would come back and search for more weeks. And I finally narrowed down a location. It was so hard to narrow down this location. I was battling between two locations. There was so much uncertainty, but as my intuition was giving me information on what this retreat would look like, then I knew which location we were going to have the retreat in, and I narrowed it down. It then came time to actually put the money towards the location, which was not easy. I kept running into setbacks, and they were really simple setbacks. Like the first situation I ran into was that once I actually got brave enough to choose the location and actually book it, the price had gone up so much more out of my budget, and I just wasn't budgeted for that. So I had a moment. I went back to the team. I was like freaking out. This is happening. And I knew what I needed to do to try and rectify the situation. But part of me also needed to vent to the team. I went back to the woman and I asked her if she could honor it. And she was the sweetest lady ever. And she was like, of course we can honor it. Let me set that up for you. She sets it up. I go to book it. And then I realize that my bank is blocking the purchase. It was a Saturday. I couldn't get through to my bank because it was already closed. I had to go back and let her know. It was just so many obstacles that at some point I asked myself, is this flowing? Because it doesn't feel like it's flowing. At the end of the day, it worked out in my favor. I can't share why it worked out in my favor. I'm going to keep that for myself. But at the end of the day, it worked out in my favor, which was a testament to knowing or trying to rely on the knowing that this was certainly in flow. I just had to go through a certain set of challenges to have this outcome work in my favor. But I was still full of doubts, and I wasn't going to be able to make the purchase until Monday morning. I was dealing with what I felt were all of these setbacks. At some point on Sunday, I realized that it wasn't that I was not in flow, that I was actually being met with internal resistance. I was doubting myself. And in doubting myself, I was attracting these small challenges. It almost felt like I was traveling down a river and I was being met by rocks, and I had to navigate around those rocks, and then I would proceed, and I was met by another rock. But the fact that I knew how to navigate around the rock almost validated that I was still in flow, but that this was actually resistance on my part. So I began to do some work. And I began to ask my intuition, give me a sign, show me that this is resistance, and show me how to move through it so that I am not feeling like I'm doing the wrong thing. And then I came across a video where Serena Williams is probably around, 11 or 12 years old. She is getting trained by her father at this age. And he tells her, this is you at the US Open. And then as she goes to swing, it cuts to Serena at the US Open. it makes me happy, and at the same time, it makes me feel so far from that type of support, from that type of parental support where her father was grooming her already at such a young age to envision herself achieving one of the biggest goals in her life. It really set the stage for her where she didn't see herself not at the US Open. She might have encountered, people not believing her in certain times of her life, but she had one of the closest person to her telling her already, envision yourself there. It made me so emotional because I thought, I don't have that. I didn't have that. Here I am working really hard to follow my passion and trying to make something out of nothing, trying to live off of a dream that I have. But at the same time, I felt this really strong peace in my heart where I felt that I had the most powerful parents. I might not have the physical support of my mother and father, but I have the universe that is my mother and father that supports me and shows me signs and makes ways for me to obtain what it is that I want to obtain. Even in those moments when things are not working out, I am always reminded that it is because it is working out in my best interest. And it might not be the easiest way, but it is the best way. I felt something in me shift. Like I developed this confidence inside of me. I thought to myself, yeah, I want to be great like Serena. Is that wrong? I don't know. All I know is that I have this strong desire to accomplish something that is way beyond my current reach. And somehow along the way, I'm reassured that that is going to happen in one way or another. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I started to look at the situation differently and step into my power. I'm actually going to make the karmic investment to get this location to provide an unforgettable experience for the women that sustain me, for the women that push me. All I want to do is create life-transforming experiences full of value. For you, that's all I want to do. I want you to be able to change your life in the most magical ways. And I want you to be able to see the beauty in the pain that you've gone through, because that's how I've experienced my life. I get to experience the magic and the beauty. Even though I was developing all sorts of confidence on Sunday, I thought to myself, I'm sure Serena had doubts. And I'm sure she would come to her father who was coaching her with these doubts. And I thought to myself, I'm going to go to my universe, mother and father, and say, I need a sign. I need a sign. I need you to tell me that it is okay to make this really big investment and make this really big commitment. I need to know that I'm not making a mistake and that this isn't too big for me. Because at some point I was thinking, maybe this is too big for me and it is not the right time and the time will happen later. And I'm okay with that. So that night I had a dream. In this dream, I was walking into like a rotunda is the way I want to call it. But I think a rotunda is circular. This wasn't circular. It was like half moon shaped. There was a big projection screen on the back. The stage was at the bottom. You entered from the top and you filled in the steep seats. It looked like an arena almost. As I was walking in to the rotunda, I look around and I'm seeing all of these unfamiliar faces. And amongst the unfamiliar faces, I found one familiar face. I've mentioned him before in this podcast about me wanting a dream person to join the team and that I was thinking about him and he had previously DM'd me. I talked about him in another episode. Well, he was in my dream, and I remember locking eyes with him and being really happy that I saw someone familiar. And as I'm making my way to select a seat, I start to understand that I'm actually taking a seat in a rotunda that I own, that is mine. And then I'm sitting there still trying to process what is happening. And I realize that all the people that are in their seats and the hustle and bustle from the people that are trying to take their seats, coming to their seats with coffee and cakes and donuts and all of this stuff. It was so lavish. It was like this lavish place. And I realized that these are people that are on my team, that I suppose I'm the owner of this rotunda, and this is our conference room of sorts, or a meeting room, and that there is brands coming in to present pitches. And we see the first brand, and they were all very clear brands that I'm not going to mention. I'm going to keep that to myself, for myself. And they would do these elaborate presentations on why they were the perfect company to sponsor the events that I was creating. And I woke up. When I woke up, I went to check my emails. I was kind of still processing the dream. I forgot that I had asked for a sign. And I went to check my Instagram, and I had a direct message from that person that was in my dream. And he said, I came across this account. I really believe that you need to meet this woman. I think that you all are aligned and you need to meet her. The first thing I responded to him was, oh my goodness, I had a dream about you. And he was like, tell me everything. So I was fresh from the dream, so I could explain everything in so much detail. And shortly after I explained the dream, I go in to look at this Instagram account that he sent over. I'm looking at her account and I'm like, okay, I can see why he aligned me with her and why he thinks we need to connect. She's a coach for women that have spiritual businesses, and she recently started a podcast. So I went on to her podcast. One of her episodes is titled like why you need to have a Joshua Tree retreat. And she has this entire episode on why those types of retreats are important and why she went to one and why she is now having her very own Joshua Tree retreat. That's a sign. All of these signs. It's so important for us to ask the questions. If we run into problems or something that we need to solve or signs that we need, I think it is all accessible to us. We don't necessarily have to go to someone else for answers. I think going to other people is more about creating a community. It's more about engaging in positivity. It's more about being able to look at another woman that is powerful and strong and believes in herself, and she gives you permission to feel powerful and strong and believe in yourself. I think that is the whole idea about community. I don't necessarily think that this type of community is so that we can go and seek answers from other people. I think it's more so to develop our own personal strength and our own personal courage to really have people that embody what you want to become. Otherwise, we don't have those role models. We really have to find our tribe. And I'm so thankful for this tribe. So here we are. We're not in Joshua Tree. We are in Indio, but we are in Indio because we found the most amazing house that is lavish AF. I think that you all are going to be really surprised at the type of event that we have set up for this full moon retreat. The name of the retreat is called Mujer, Llena, which means full woman is what it means. It means that we have everything we need. And more importantly, we have it at this particular time of year. And when I say this particular time of year, I don't mean September. I mean the day that we're having the retreat. We mainly picked this day because it is one of the first full moon Saturdays in 2019. And my intuition began speaking to me about how the retreat would look like. I drew from inspiration that was surrounding me. I was being guided to develop this retreat to look in a certain way. And as I began to look at the actual full moon in May, I realized that this moon is leaving the virgin phase and entering the mother phase. Now, I know we've talked about the moon phases, and if you remember, you may not remember, but briefly I talked about how we not only go through the 4 phases, the wise woman, the virgin, the mother, and the enchantress. We not only go through those 4 phases within a month, but we also go through those 4 phases within the year, and they are inspired by the seasons. So in this season, we are leaving the virgin phase, about to enter the mother phase. It is when we are full. We are approaching our fullest phase. We're ready to go out and take on the world. And that is why this retreat is so important, because intuitively, we came up with an itinerary that embodies this to the fullest. We want to create a space where women feel free and in their power, in complete confidence. This particular moon, the May moon, is known as the full flower moon. And in ancient times, it was also called Mother's Moon, and it is also called the milk moon. I want to talk to you a little bit about our itinerary. I'm going to high level our itinerary for you because I can't get into too much details. We are still tightening up the itinerary. There are exciting things that we are confirming, and we're just wrapping up. And when something isn't completely confirmed, I'm not a big believer in sharing it. So what I am going to share is a high level on what is confirmed. As I mentioned, the dates for this retreat are May 17th through May 18th. We are going to open up the house at 8 p.m. on Friday. This means that you can still fully finish your Friday workday. You're going to drive down the desert as the day is transitioning into night. You're going to see the incredible moon because it is close to its fullness. And you're going to drive up to this incredible house with a huge gate and this magnificent entrance that you deserve to be driving up to. You're going to arrive, get settled in. Then we're going to have a sacred feminine connection, which if you went to the red tent, then you know how important this exercise is. It's an exercise that I intuitively downloaded, and it's an exercise that we will continue to do at all of my circles and all of my events. I think it's a very powerful exercise. Then we're going to let loose with some wine and some dark chocolate by the fire. And we're just going to prepare for the next day. Relax, chill, go to bed when you feel like going to bed. You know yourself better than me. We're going to have all-inclusive meals. A breakfast bar will be open by the time everyone wakes up with juices and breakfast bowls. We're going to go into an exercise that is all about loosening up the libido with Celisa Loaiza, which I'm really excited for. Everything in this retreat is going to be about honing in on your sexual power. So this retreat is for women that are 21 and over and are really, it's for mature audiences. If you really want to hone in on your sexuality and feel intimacy and feel closeness with other women that are also seeking to find expansion in who they are in their virgin and in their mother phase and just own it, then this is the perfect retreat for you. So all of the exercises that we have are going to be tailored around this. We're going to have what we're calling a Luna Lube workshop, which is going to be held with Carissa. And Carissa is going to be helping us make personal lubricants. These are going to be lubricants that you're going to be able to make at home that are much more natural and that are just safer for your body. So we're going to be going through this workshop, and we're going to have time to sit by the pool, relax, and really enjoy the home. It's not going to be straight exercise after exercise. We definitely want to have breaks in between and really come back to ourselves before we have to go into another exercise. We're of course going to do a personal cord cutting. You guys know we do that everywhere we go. Let's get those cords cut, because at 2:11 p.m., the full moon is going to hit. And we are all collectively going to receive the full moon with a sound bath and a meditation, which is going to be extremely powerful. I can't wait to get into the details of the sound bath and this meditation. But during this time, we will be receiving the full moon that will enter California, this specific location, at 2:11. Then we're going to move into our lunch. We're going to practice the 11 moon centers. Some of you may have practiced the 11 moon centers with me in the past. We did it digitally. This time we're going to do it in person. So we're creating a very safe and sacred space for us to practice this. Everything that we're going to be doing is very safe and very sacred. Then we're going to get ready for Saturday night. There's a really special event set up for Saturday night. We are going to have an amazing healer who is also a burlesque teacher. Her name on Instagram is Latin_burlesque. We're going to go through a burlesque exercise with her and perform burlesque for each other. And to take it a step further, because you guys know that my favorite thing is to bring you value in everything I do, is before we actually go to the retreat, we are going to be taking courses from Jenny. Her name is Jenny. We're going to be taking courses from her, and we're going to be training to perform burlesque in groups for each other at the full moon party that's going to take place on Saturday at the full moon retreat. It is going to be so powerful. I'm so excited for this. We are also going to have personal and group boudoir photograph sessions. Who's excited for that? I've never had pictures like that taken of myself, and I think there's no better time to take them than when we're actually instilling confidence, creating a safe space, believing in each other. I think the energy that is going to be surrounding this entire retreat is really going to manifest some fire photos. And who doesn't want to have photos of themselves like this? We're going to have so much fun with this. We're actually going to have themes, and everyone is going to dress up in their own theme, and I just can't wait to give you more details and hopefully have Jenny on the show so she can talk to you a little bit about the healing that she does and her burlesque dancing. It's absolutely incredible. So I can't wait for us to take the classes, which is going to be inclusive in the cost of your retreat. Be prepared for that. This is going to be amazing. And then we're going to have intentional moon bathing. So we are going to come full as we are with our intentions, and we're going to just moon bathe. In the same way that you would sunbathe, we are going to let our bodies recharge in the full moon out in the desert by the pool. And then, of course, we're going to party it up after that, dancing, drinking, eating, the whole nine. We're just going to have a really amazing time. The following day, Sunday, is going to be a little bit more relaxed because we have so many things back to back. And of course, we're in recovery mode from all of the energy that was exerted the night before. We, of course, will have a juice bar open. We're going to go straight into doing a yoni writing exercise. We're going to do some powerful yoni breath work. This is breath work that will be focused on our yoni and our sexual healing that needs to take place. And then we're going to have some fun with what we're calling brunch and breasts by the pool. So it's just going to be really fun brunch time with all of us together, enjoying a really delicious meal. After that, we're going to have a break. We're calling our breaks Fill Your Yoni. Basically, just take the time to recharge, relax. This is about transformation, but it is also about recovery. I really believe that we need to recover before we move into another transformation. I don't want too much energy to be exerted. I want the proper energy to be exerted. And of course, I want us to all enjoy this time where we're away from our homes, where we might be away from our children, where we might be away from any duties, and really just self-indulge in this luxurious estate I'm so excited for. Then we're going to prepare for a yoni workshop. We will be harnessing our sexual energy. We will have dinner by the pool, and we'll have another exercise with the fire, and then we're going to close our circle. We have another amazing night in this private mini resort is what I'm calling it. And then we're going to check out the next morning at 10 a.m. is checkout time. We are sending everyone off with a power sack breakfast, get you refueled for your drive back into the city. You will be able to leave early if you feel like you need to leave early to get to work, if you don't want to miss work, if you're going late into work. My whole intention was to not necessarily take any days off from work if you weren't able to, make it really accessible for everyone, and then of course the value. We are also going to have a new moon circle 2 weeks prior to the event. The new moon lands on a Saturday, but we're going to have our circle on a Friday and just prepare and gather and go through a lot of the exercises that are going to take place and go through any questions that anyone might have. The time that we're going to spend there is so valuable, and we want everybody to be completely prepared. We also want to set intentions during this digital new moon circle. We want to set specific intentions because we want the best outcome to manifest itself during the full moon. And we want to be able to shed ourselves of all that does not serve us and move into the mother phase along with the moon in such a powerful way. I can't wait to explore sexuality and sexual power with you all. Head over to our website, sign up for the weekly warrior email. If you're signed up for the weekly warrior email, you will receive that Friday midnight. So Thursday night, once it hits midnight and it's Friday, you'll receive the email, and it will give you the breakdown of what the house looks like and how the rooms are broken up with the cost. There are single beds, so you will be able to have a single bed. There's also private rooms that have their own bathroom, super luxurious. I don't think you're ready for how luxurious this is. You have no idea. I was like, we deserve this. We deserve to be in an energy full of nothing but luxury. We deserve to know what this feels like, what it's like to have a house with 10 bedrooms. I want to know. I want to walk into that house and I want to know that feeling, and I want to revisit that feeling for myself in my own house. Okay? One day. We went all out. We just went all out on this experience, and it's going to continue to tighten up. We're going to have more details, more announcements surrounding this event. As always, there's only a limited amount of spaces. As I was saying, there are some single beds. There are some suites that have their own restroom. It's a king bed. Be aware that if you do book a king bed, that you will be sharing that bed with someone else. And so if you want that bed to be specifically for you and your girlfriend, then you need to make sure that you purchase the 2 tickets that will be available for that room immediately, so that you all can both get that room and then, pay each other back on the deposit. So the way this is going to be broken down, pay attention, okay? It's going to be in writing, but I also want it to just be super clear so that you are ready. What we will be asking for when tickets go on sale this Friday at 1:30 p.m. is we will be asking for the deposit to hold your space in the room that you want for $188. No matter what room you want, we do have different prices, but no matter what room you want, $188 will be the deposit price. There's going to be two different types of payments. You can pay full price, or you can make payments. If you're not able to pay full price, this was something that was really important for us to have available, because I know, sometimes I want to invest in myself, but it can get a little crazy. So we definitely have payment plans set up. So basically, the way the website is going to look like is you're going to be able to see each room as its own purchase. You'll see the layout. It's going to be very clear. Just pay attention, read, sign up for the weekly warrior email so that you're already prepared and you know what to do. Get your plan B. We do expect for everything to get booked really fast. We did have a really great turnout for the red tent, and everyone has been so excited for the retreat. So we definitely want you all to set your alarms, be prepared, get ready. Our karmic investments start at $988. Okay, they start at $988 and they range all the way to $1,388. So you do get a discount if you make a payment in full, and it is a little bit of an extra charge if you want to go the payment route. It's not much of an extra charge, it's a little bit of an extra charge, but we did want to make this as affordable as possible. This is such a great price for 3 nights to be able to sleep in an incredible space with inclusive meals. I'm so excited. These rooms are fire. If you are planning to book a nice VIP suite with your own tub and your own restroom with your bestie, then I would highly suggest that one of you all make the purchase for both of you all. We also have some rooms that have sleep for people. So if you have a group of 4 girlfriends, sign up for the weekly warrior email, get it all figured out. But I would designate one person to buy the ticket and, select the quantity and just book for all of you guys and PayPal each other, or whatever the case may be. You can actually pay through PayPal, and you can use your credit card or debit card or whatever it is on the website. It is only going to be for the $188 per person as a deposit. We are then going to follow up so that the person that requested that they be charged the full price to get that discount for $100, then they will receive certain instructions via email to make that payment. And for those that are going to do the payments, we're going to set up a special payment plan with you all via email as well. All of the payment plans will be handled through PayPal, so make sure you get yourself set up on PayPal. We are so excited. All of the team, all 4 of us, we have been hustling all week, and we will continue to hustle until May gets here so that we can provide an absolutely life-transforming experience. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. One of the most important things that you do is that you begin investing in yourself. A karmic investment for yourself can create abundance on levels that is so hard for us to even comprehend, especially because there is something called a decree. Every time you make a karmic investment, make a decree. Ask the universe to return it in a certain way. Every time I do that, it manifests. And everyone that comes to my circles, I always tell them that. And that is why the same women continue to come to all of my circles and all of my events, because I am speaking truth. I'm coming from a place where I know how challenging it is to invest in your expansion. I feel like investing in these types of events, in seminars, in summits like We All Grow, all of these types of events, if we put money towards it, it is dare I say, I've benefited so much more from events like this than from going to college. The connections I make, the business is result of the connections I make, the perspectives that I get to learn and open my mind to and expand from are priceless. Set your alarms, 1:30 p.m. on Friday, $188 karmic investment. Mujer Llena, I can't wait to see you. May the light within grow stronger.